Hello all you YouTubers out there in YouTube land. Today, I'll show you how I made this pillbox. Well, let's get right into it. I started out with a piece of 6" by 1 5/8" popular dowel rod. And so I just had to round it a little bit down to 1 1/4 inch. Let's get started with that. Able to get up to about 1200 RPM right away, because when you put it in your needle chuck, I call it there, it's running fairly straight. While we're still out on the end, this is going to be the cap end. So while we're still out on the cap end and have some radius or diameter to play with, I always check and get my close to my 1/4 inch before I go any further. Have my caliper set on 1 1/4, and you see we're getting fairly close. But I'm going to go ahead and take that down a little more, get it fairly close. And then we'll go ahead and round down the rest of it. And you see, if I do it this way, if I undercut, there we go, we got just what we need. If I undercut that a little much, if it's a little loose there, I can just include that in part of the design, and I don't scrap the whole piece, because I need it to be as close to 1 1/4 as possible, which is not entirely critical. So let's go with that. That should have it. Now we still have some tool marks there, but we're going to cut it, put the cap back on it, and turn it a little bit surface again, so we're fine in that condition. You can have a few tool marks, won't hurt anything at all at this point. Now I have this template made up, and you see it there. Yeah, that's for consistency and helping getting this setup. I'm set up with the 7/8 Forstner bit right now, and I'm going in to the depth of the back face of the Forstner. So that's our gauge there, is the width of the Forstner there. So let's get that going, get that done, we'll go from there. Now we're just to the depth of our Forstner, and we'll see it didn't get too hot, so I can still safely catch a hold of that with my fingers. And you want to watch when you're taking these out because they can burn your little fingers. We will just leave this set back out of the way. We don't have to pull it out. I am going to set up and cut our lid off right there, right now. That's all there is to it. Now let's reach under there and get that little dude. And let's see where it went to. I could have caught it, but I didn't need to. And let's see here where it went to. Way back under there. That's okay. There she is. Basically done with that for right now. But it's already cut out with Forstner, so it's a real nice cutout in there. So let's just lay it aside. What we're going to do now is get our 5/8 inch Forstner bit out, and we're going to move this out of the way, lock it back, and I'm going to put that in the chuck here. Right there. Now we're going to get scooted up here, and we're going to drill the bottom, the main part of the pillbox. We're going to drill it completely out right now with a 5/8 Forstner. We'll be done with that. So that's the two bits that we're using. Now, as can be seen here, I want this hole to be drilled 2 3/4 inch approximately to get me right into this area here from the surface. So I have this Forstner set in the chuck here to where it's flush with the end of the chuck. I know when I get that even with that, then I'm at the depth I need of 2 3/4 inch. So let's get on with that, drill that out. There we have it. Exactly 2 3/4 inch back for the hole. Now we're done with the drilling completely. So let's go to the next step. I want this to be about this tenon here for the lid cap to go on will be, it should be about 875. What I have this set on is about 900, so we don't get it too close. I'm going to get this to where it goes on there real good, about 900, and then I'm going to give it another little fine pass, and the rest of it we do with sandpaper, so we can slip up on it and really get a good fit. Okay, that's just what we wanted right here. It's still too tight to go on there. Still pretty tight. But what we want to do is start working that now with sandpaper, fine sandpaper, and get it to where it just slides on there real good. You can burnish it on there. Matter of fact, I got really close there. Maybe all we can do. I think that's, matter of fact, I might have got lucky, but that's just about right. Yeah, I'd say, yeah, it's going to stay on there, yet it can go on pretty tight. You don't want anything any different. It comes right off of there. So we're fine right there. Now we're going to get to doing our forming and design work on there, and it's going to be just right. Let's get over here and decide what we're going to do. With that, yeah. And this, you can just let your imagination run wild. I don't have a particular pattern in mind right now. I like to make every one of these different, so what you can do, what is best to do is start drawing. Of course, this is a cutoff line right here, and your cutoff tool is going to be behind this line. So another tip I got off of a good friend is don't use the two, if you're going to put grooves in these, never put three, always only put two. That way, that groove and that groove look good. If you get three, then you have to worry about this line being the same distance as this. So we don't want that. Don't go to all that trouble. On the top of the box here, I'm going to put another groove. And I'm going to put one more. Got two there. I'm going to come up here. This is going to be a groove. So I'm going to, in this case, get one there. And I may put one there. Let's take a look at that. I'm going to do some tapering from this groove here. Well, in between here. I'm going to belly this out in a concave. And what this is going to be a little bit concave into here. That's what I'm going for right now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put these grooves in there. And all I've done now is just get these grooves, try to get them the same distance. What I'm going to do now is work on the finish. I don't see any tears or tool marks in there, but I'm going to smooth this whole thing, which will bring this cap right in line with everything now. And it will cut those grooves a little deeper. But we've got to go across now just to smooth everything out, and then I'll cut this concave in here and cut this down where I want it, and then we'll sand it down. Now what I've done here is got my concave area in here, a little bit concave inward here, and I see I'm going to round off. That can be sandpaper there. I don't see any tool marks, so we should be okay. These grooves want to be the same depth. And once you get a finish on that, inside those grooves are going to be a slight shadow. It's going to be a little darker, and they're going to be much more prominent. So for right now, we have got what we want. And if you need that to be a little bit. Want it pretty tight to be able to do the turning. Now if we have to, we can give it another little bitty touch with sandpaper. But I don't think we won't need very much at all. Maybe right up against the shoulder. And in that case, what I'll do is get about a 150, and I will get me a piece here, and I'll just turn it one time like that. No more than that, or we're gonna get it too loose. And we're going to turn it back on and hit it just a little bit right here. Now what we can do is put it on there and turn it. And that usually burnishes it in there to work. That's better. Right there. It goes down a little tight. And it does. Twist and turn and it pops right off and it'll stay on there. So now let's get the sandpaper and we'll get it sanded down and we'll be ready to cut it off. Okay, we're going to go to 350 and then down to up to 400. So we're on just a little bit. And I think we'll be right where we want to go. Now 400. We'll hit a lick there. It just whispers. I like that sound when it just, I like that whispering sound you get when it starts to get slick. And I think that's all we need. And again, a little sawdust down in there. But you can just give it a twist and put the top right on. It comes on pretty good. So now we're going to get some finish on that, and we'll be good. Sometimes if you want to take a wire and burnish that, I may do that. So let's give that some thought. Now we're going to take a wire, do a little bit of burnishing. I'm sorry if I get in the way here, but we'll be able to see that once we cut on a bit. Now for this one, I'm going to color the wood, I'm going to put some Rit dye. This is a cherry red, and we're going to put that on there before we put anything else on it. Now this, I like to take a brush, especially if you just have a small area, and I just get it right out of the box or out of the can here, and brush it on like so. You have to be very careful not to spill it all over the place. But other than that, you can just go round and round and let it go where she wants to. And I'll put it on pretty heavy and let it dry. And after that, we can finish it. It should have some, if this paint is red like this, I think it'll have some sex appeal to it. You know what I mean? We will have to see about that. But I know the ladies like red, so what the heck, we'll have a red one there in the box for them to choose from. And they like to look through these things and pick out what they like. I'll have some blue ones, I'll have some red ones, I'll have some green ones, I'll have some plain wood, just all different designs. Now, that's a fairly even coat all the way around. Now, if you wipe that off, it's going to get fairly dull looking red, but if you let that dry on there, it'll be a deeper red. So let's let that dry a bit, and we'll be back and see what it looks like. Well, there it is. What do you think? Here's my little pillbox. See you in the next video.